Test 1 2. AC Sports Live. Tuesday night. Little technical difficulties. The internet is slow. That's what I'm hearing. So bear with me as I get through it. June 15th, the day the world opened back up. Mark this day in the history books as a blip on a timeline. The day the world opened back up, and the day the Slim Reaper took back what was rightfully his. I doubted the Slim Reaper. Easy sniper. Easy money sniper. 48 minutes. 49 points. Was it 49 points? 47 points. 17 rebounds. 10 assists. Triple double. Played the entire game. KD. Is KD the man or the Bucks just that dumb? As Charles Barkley so eloquently put it, that was just dumb basketball. We'll start off with the NBA. Talk a little bit about NFL OTAs. The offensive flop rule is going to be looked at this offseason. My 2 cents, Le'Veon Bell has something to say about Andy Reid. The 2011 Mavs came down my timeline. I think they deserve their flowers while they're still kicking. So give them their flowers ASAP. Chuck has a new statement. I wonder if y'all agree. And my sports flicks, man. I ran past this 1990 CIF 5 AA championship between my Jackrabbits of Long Beach Poly and the Linwood Knights. It's a who's who of college basketball in a high school championship game. And last but certainly not least, the Four Kings documentary on Showtime. Oh my God. It is a keeper. AC Sports Live, Tuesday night. You here, I'm here, Jimmy Mack is here. Let's get it.
You're quite hostile.
I got a right to be hostile, man. My people been persecuted.
All right, NBA is fantastic. Jimmy Mack says, yo. Hit your B-boy stance like Miss Mac and Mr. Mac in their avatar like it's 1985. Jeff Green was the real star of that game. And the Bucks don't have their 7-footer in the paint against a team that is too small. As Chuck said, dumb. Just dumb. Not smart basketball at all. I just showed a clip of Giannis versus Harden, and Giannis shoots a fall-away jumper. AC from LA in the house. Yo. I think it's a 1985, 1992 vibe. We in here saying, yo, what's going on? What's up? With the dilly? Yo. All right, man. The Nets, going into tonight's game, were still the favorites to win the whole thing. And without Kyrie Irving, I was doubtful. I heard James Harden was going to play, and I'm like, that hammy ain't right just yet. He's a decoy. But the Bucks don't take advantage. And they let the Slim Reaper play the entire game. They did not think to put him in foul trouble. Did not think to run him up and down the court. He was just easily coasting up and down the court. So now the Nets go up 3-2, going back to Milwaukee. I don't think Milwaukee can recover from this. I think they were doomed when Charles Barkley said the Bucks are going to win the championship at halftime. He said the Bucks are going to win the championship. They're just playing dumb right now. They came out the half and played even dumber, if that's a word. Dumb and dumber. They played dumber. So what's it look like right now? The Suns look really good in the West. And if we're not Chris Paul fans at this point, the State Farm guy, that's not the State Farm guy, that's Devin Booker. But he looks like the State Farm guy. If you squint your eyes a little bit, that looks like the State Farm guy. But this is not a State Farm commercial. This is Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, and Devin Booker. They're big three. And they got some good others. I'm not sure if the Clippers or the Jazz can beat the Suns right now. I have the Clippers and the Sixers in the championship. But right now, what I saw tonight, I'm thinking maybe Suns and the Nets. Because if Kyrie's not completely out for the season, it means he might return. James Harden gets in some kind of shape. And KD plays like he played tonight. I don't think you can play that many minutes every night. That's a lot for the Slim Reaper. But it is probably one of the best performances I've ever seen a megastar play in a game where he was counted out and everybody was like, no, he can't do it. And he stayed in. He did not. Now, would he have done that if James Harden didn't play? We will never know. But Jeff Green stepped up, like Jimmy Mack said. Blake Griffin stepped up. I'm looking for Harris and James. Those guys didn't really do a whole lot. But when Jeff Green went 7 for 7 from 3, and then he finally missed his first one, I mean, that's a huge lift, man. When you guys are hitting shots like that, you can't double team KD when guys are hitting shots. The Suns look good. The Clippers look good. Dunk of the year. I'm thinking, if you haven't seen it, dunk of the year. I think the Spider believes it. You can see his face. Don't do my boy like this. And Kawhi finishes the play. No trash talk. Composes himself and get back down the court. The Clippers are playing championship ball. This next game will be very interesting to see what they do in Utah. And you know how Utah will get down. My Sixers smoked off another game. So I'm losing confidence in our dominance in that we let the Hawks, with nobody over 225 pounds, because how much does Clint Capella weigh? He can't weigh more than 235. And Joel Embiid weighs 300 plus. And we're shooting fall-away jumpers. I don't know. My man Mike Stafford has. The dope boy is, in fact, in the building. Is that what you meant to say? Or am I reading that wrong? Coach Bud Holzer needs to be fired now. He can't make it to the airport. He getting fired. He getting the Lane Kiffin treatment. He gonna get. Oh, was that Lane Kiffin? Or was that Sarkisian? Who got fired in the parking lot? Who got fired in the parking lot? No, dunk of the year is easily Bridges over Capella. What about the young kid? Edwards over, I forgot who it was. But they both fell down afterwards. That'll be a good one, Mike. Dunk of the year. We're getting close to it. My boy Robert Nixon. What up, fam? I see you, Robert Nixon, with the 85-mile-an-hour fastball when we were 12 years old. I remember it like it's yesterday. We were playing for the Westside Long Beach Pirates. And Rob came to town. And you know how Westside Long Beach baseball go. who got dibs on the new kid with the Jerry curl and the heater on his shoulder, the missile on his shoulder. And I was like, Coach Daniels, man, we got to pick up Rob. I don't want to hit that dude. That dude throws straight heat. And we don't have a fence that I can hit the ball over. I would have to just hit base hits. Oh, man, Rob Nixon had a heater. This is what makes Thank You, Lou better than Doc Rivers. Ty makes adjustments. The Clippers are 6-1 after being down 0-2 this playoffs. Wow. They are? Wow. That's an amazing stat. But why do they get down 0-2? Every time. They're so good. I guess, most fighters do this. I believe if you watch boxing, a lot of the great fighters used to wait the first 2 rounds to see what they're dealing with. I believe Floyd does this. Sweet Pea used to do that. Oscar De La Hoya used to do that. They used to wait a couple rounds, not really do a whole lot. Even Roy Jones used to play around for the first couple rounds. And then, bam, they come and bring that onslaught. Is that what the Clippers are? They have a boxer's mentality. We want to see what kind of fight we're in before we pull any punches. Ant-Man's dunk wasn't the best because we don't even remember who he dunked on. He didn't stick. He didn't stick the landing. Bridges' dunk was easily the best. I gotta relook at it. I remember Miles Bridges, his dunk, but that's gonna be a good end of the year topic. Dietrich in the house. They scared to go up 3-1 now. They scared. Well, it's not always easy to play from the lead because you got complacent cats. You got guys that don't talk. I don't know what my Sixers are doing. We should easily be up 3-1. Why do you go away from what works? You let Trae Young get off. You take length off of him. You put some hands on him and hurt his shoulder. I'm not saying hurt the boy, but he can't have a free reign just running around without getting touched up. Mike Staff said he had to make adjustments. Playoffs is about adjustments, and Lou does it better than anyone. Does it? Not doesn't. Does it better than anyone. I got you. Well, we're seeing what Ty Lue can do. We're going to see what Doc Rivers can do tomorrow. Both of them are on full display. Full display. If the Bucks had Lou, Monty Williams, or even Nate McMillan as a coach, they would have been winning it all easily this season. Adding Drew and PJ, this team should be cruising. What could they do? What could they do to stop what they saw tonight? What could they have done to get KD off? Like, if we're sideline quarterbacks, we're sideline coaches now. We calling it like we see it. We ain't really in the pressure-packed seat of a head coach of a playoff game. So we got a lot to say. But if you were on the sideline and you saw KD heating up after a first half of frustration, and then you see them come within 15, they get to 13, what could they do? What could Budenholzer do to stop the bleeding? As we used to say in football, how do you stop the bleeding when KD is hitting from 35 feet? Mike Staff says, I'm a front runner like Booker. When I'm up, I prefer it than I can put my foot on their necks. If you are up 3-1, you feel prefer to be that. So that's a different approach. I believe Jimmy and I had a conversation on the 1585 show about pressure. And I told him I hit better when I'm playing baseball and I got 2 strikes. I hit better when the odds are against me. If I got a 3-0 count, my swing is not going to be very good. I'm going to swing for the fence and probably swing and miss. If I'm up, if I'm winning in the count, if we're favorite, if we're playing a lesser talent team, how do you put your foot on their neck? Mike said he's a front runner. That's a good attribute to have. Everybody ain't got it. The Bucks ain't got it. All right, so we got. It's getting down to nitty gritty. The Suns are at home. Gonna probably get a whole week off. They're gonna be the healthiest team in the playoffs now, with Kawhi's knee injury. I don't think he's gonna miss a game, but he's gonna have that. The Sixers are 2-2. I believe you're going back home, then back to Atlanta, then back home. I got the Sixers in 6. The Hawks have won their 2 games. I believe the Sixers will win the next 2. The Clippers tied the Jazz 2-2. This one's probably going 7. The Bucks gave one up tonight, but I believe they will make adjustments and win game 6. Bucks, Nets will go 7. I'm going to hang tight with my Clippers versus Sixers championship. I only got $2 on it, so it's not no harm, no foul. Unlike our boy Lonnie Graham, who has, I believe he said he got 700 on the Sixers to get to the finals, Eastern Conference Finals. And then he got like 2,500 for the Nets to win the whole thing. And I was wondering, do injuries cancel all that? I would hope so, because if Kyrie can't go, that changes your chances drastically. Q says Mike Staff, but they were down 0-2 twice and went 7 games in the first round. So they went 6-1. They lost 1 and they won 4. In this one, they lost 2. Yeah, the math don't work, but I get what he's saying. You get what he's saying, CQ. We know you're a mathematician, bruh. You ain't got to get all technical on us. We know what Mike is trying to say. We know what he's trying to say. We know you're a UCLA graduate. Here comes Stat Mac. He'll clear it up for us. Bad basketball is the reason most of these series are even close. Bad basketball. Too many bad shots and probably even worse coaching. Are they coaching? It look like bulletin holes that don't have a clue. Why is Giannis handling the ball when he has no bag? And there's a wall of defenders behind the guy that's guarding him. You got Drew Holiday. That makes no sense to me. When they got the ball at the end and Middleton drove to the cup to dish to Giannis, that was a perfect play. Giannis drops the ball because he's not used to getting the ball that close. Maybe, I don't know. He catches that ball all the time. He just dropped the ball. The pressure was too hot. But why does Giannis have the ball at the top of the key? Did they not learn from the Raptors series? Did they not learn from the Heat series previous years? Budenholzer, like Mike said, he probably going to be gone, man. There's too much talent on that team for them to get beat again. Not that the Nets aren't capable without Kyrie Irving, because that's not James Harden. That's just a shell of James Harden who might get going, but I don't think he'll get going for another 2 games. He has not practiced. Yeah, I'm talking about practice. Not the game. I'm talking about practice. Bad basketball. I think that's that AAU All-Star coaching. I got Giannis. Go, Giannis. Giannis did not guard KD one play. He might have, but I didn't see him take the onus of taking him. You 6'10", KD 6'11". PJ Tucker cannot stop KD from getting the shot. All he can do is make him mad. I look to see if Giannis is really that dude to take some of that pressure off and guard KD. Why don't they deny him the ball? Isn't denying the ball a part of defense? Like, he getting the ball too easily. If you can't stop him from shooting, stop him from getting the ball or make him not want it. You got 5 good hard fouls to give. Make him feel it. Mike says attack the mismatches. Brook in the post until they can converge and kick out to the shooters. Force KD to shoot deep threes. And if he makes it, oh well. When he misses, then that's an outlet ball. Giannis shines in transition. In the half court, you run pick and roll with Drew and Brook, who can pick and roll and pick and pop. You do that, you have Drew attacking the basket on the side with PJ, who is an option to lob to Brook, kick to the corner 3 for PJ, Drew finishing at the rim. You make it sound easy, but Budenholzer, who's getting paid millions of dollars, got Giannis doing ISO. Mike G said Giannis choked. That dish from Middleton, that was a choke job. He put it right in the bread basket. He dropped it. Now, I can't get mad. I dropped a pass like that last week. I played in the 40-over league for my boy Ray Domingo, who was out of town. I dropped a pass just like that. But I'm 47. Giannis is what, 26? I don't know about you, Mike G. When you was 26, you was a baller, right? You was still a baller at 26? Giannis, man, as great as he is, he's limited. Rex and Rivers in the house. He puts it on Giannis. Superstars are supposed to do at least nullify the other superstar. His basketball IQ is too low and lacks a mid-range jumper or a steady jump hook or sharp passing after sucking the defense out of position. He didn't pick his moments like an MVP should have. He just backs up and goes full speed. Hopefully it's not a charge. That's his game. No bag. Backs up, shoots a three. That's it. Now, we're not here just to criticize Giannis, but if he's Giannis versus KD, I'm with Rex. If nothing else, make his life miserable. His life was not miserable. KD had a great night. 48 minutes? Something ain't right. Make that dude get a break. Make that dude run. They did not make that dude run. They made that dude's life real easy. He was out there chilling. He played all 48 minutes. I don't know about you, but somebody got to get this guy up and down the court, so he's a little bit winded. They at least sent Drew Holiday to the rack on James Harden a few times because they know he can't guard him with that hamstring. That was one bright spot. But I believe the Bucks were doomed when Charles Barkley said the Bucks are going to win the championship. I was glad he didn't say the Sixers going to win. I was glad he didn't say the Sixers are going to win because that means we're not going to win it. I think we still have a slim chance. We still have the most dominant big man still playing. And nobody has an answer for him. We just got to stop getting in our own way and shooting ourselves in the foot, getting away from what works. So I still like our chances versus the Nets or the Bucks. Or the Bucks. Barkley called it. Giannis dropped it. Because he was afraid to get fouled and shoot free throws. That's a cold game, man. You can't shoot free throws, but you want to go to the cup. That's like Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, man. How you going to be a megastar and they put you on the bench at the end of the game because they might do a hack-a-ben? All that off-season shooting you were showing on Instagram, and you still won't shoot a mid-range? I ain't asking you to shoot no three. I'm saying be a threat in the mid-range. You see where Katie was shooting from? 12, 15 feet. It works, man. CP3 said there's a sweet spot right there. With everybody's defense playing that back defense, front and back, there's a middle area in the court that's wide open for anybody that wants it. KD lives there. Devin Booker lives there. CP3 lives there. There's money there, Ben Simmons. We need it. The Sixers have to get 15, 10, and 10 from Ben Simmons tomorrow. Joel Embiid, give me 35, 15, and 8. Tobias Harris, give me 25, 8, and 8. 8 and 5. Seth Curry, give me 20. We good. We good. Mike G said he's also a center, masquerading around as a 3 or a stretch 4. He should be in the paint acting like Shaq or Wilt. He ain't got no post game really, right? He just drop step dunk on folks. I don't know why these guys are so against going to Hakeem Olajuwon camp. Do they remember how dominant Hakeem Olajuwon was? His back to the basket. How dominant Kareem was. Back to the basket. Giannis is not Shaq as far as girth, but as far as slim, athletic ability. He ain't got to have a sky hook, but he has to have a back to the basket game where he can get an easy bucket. Easy buckets. He dropped the ball because he was not expecting the pass. Middleton should have just went up with it. There was no shot blocking there at the rim. Both of them were a little bit scared. At the moment, you think, why would he pass that? But you think Giannis is just going to catch it and dunk it. There's no chance nobody's going to stop that. That's an unstoppable play if he catches the ball. The reason he wasn't ready to catch it because they don't run that play very often. Bucks may still win it just off talent. I don't know, man. I don't know. What I saw tonight might have been a deflator. Might be the end of their chances. They are now doubting. Based off health and talent, the Bucks should win it. What I saw tonight, and James Harden's going to get better. So he's going to get some serious treatment tonight, some serious deep tissue, and he's going to be a little bit more flexible come, Friday when they play again? Thursday? James Harden going to be a tougher matchup. He only had 5 points. So KD ain't got to go for 50 every night. When James Harden get going, it's going to be tough. Speaking of James Harden, I'm going to just skip over the NFL OTAs. The offensive flop rule. So that's going to affect 2 guys in particular for me. Ice Trae Young, and James Harden. So what's about to happen, fellas, is when offensive guys jump into defenders, they're looking to outlaw this activity. So all of us that get frustrated watching Trae Young, watching guys jump into a defender who was standing straight up. It started back when Steve Nash made headlines after he called out Hawks guard Trae Young, saying his foul drawing is not basketball. It's been going around. It's been going around for a long time. I don't know about y'all, but I was a defensive-minded player, so I know there's a halo of area you cannot touch. But when guys start jumping into me, what else can we do? We're standing straight up, and the guy jumps into you to shoot it. So this will be interesting to see if they outlaw it, if they change it. We know James Harden is notorious for doing this. He'll jack a shot up because you're in his area. And it's not even the intent to really make a shot. It's just to draw a foul. So enough people have complained. Enough superstars have complained. Even my man Joel Embiid does this way too much. So I hope they change it. Because it's not, I don't think it's a natural shot. Mike Staff said Chris Paul can't get those shots on the Sixers or the Bucks. Well, they're longer defenders. Giannis has a wilt body. Yeah. Probably going to go back and watch some Wilt film. But then again, Wilt only has, 1 championship? Did he get 2? Wilt style. Wilt didn't have much of a jump shot, right? All power. Even Shaq had like a little nice little 15-footer, a little 15-foot turnaround, right? Y'all talking about the play. It was a perfect play. Jeff Green saved their season. That ain't too far from what we just saw. KD playing 48 minutes and going for a 49 triple-dub. KD was inspired by Jeff Green and James Harden. I believe mentally KD was in a good space because he had a road dog with him. James Harden just being out there helped KD's psyche. It helped him get in the zone. He got the old veteran out there who is never, Jeff Green had open heart transplant surgery. So ain't nothing he can't go through. That's the dude's riding with you. You got that confidence. You got James Harden, who's probably the second best scorer next to KD in the world when they're going. Even though he's not going, just the idea that he's out there helped KD's psyche. Going into this game, I don't believe KD envisioned playing 48 minutes. But when they had a chance to win, he said, "Coach, I can go." I believe we can now say KD has the heart of a lion today's performance has changed my perspective of Kevin Durant. He is now bona fide Slim Reaper. I believe the Nets can win the series, man, without Kyrie. If PJ Tucker's all you got, if Giannis don't take the responsibility in helping KD, he's going to continue to score 35, 40 points. And when James Harden gets going, give you 20, 25, 15 assists, 10 rebounds, it's going to be Sixers Nets. Sixers Nets. Jordan used to do the same thing. Oh, y'all talking about that. All right, NFL, OTAs. All right, so we all know Aaron Rodgers ain't going to camp. Aaron Rodgers is not happy with the GM. So we know he's not going to camp. OTAs means off-season training activities. They even have voluntary mini camps, which means mandatory. If you don't show up, there must be a problem. So around the league, there are some notable guys missing from training camp. And usually this means they want their money. Jamal Adams, not in camp. Likely to sit out until he gets his paper. Now, Jamal Adams is kind of out of pocket because he's a safety. And safeties are a dime a dozen. Now, good for them, he's in Pete Carroll's defense. And the strong safety is very important in Pete Carroll's defense. If the rookie they have backing him up is trash. Now, he's not trash. He's in the NFL. I'm going to stop trashing these guys like that. If he's not as good as Jamal Adams, I don't want Kwame Brown coming after me. Even though I do want Kwame Brown coming after me. Come on, Kwame. Come on, Kwame. I'm talking about black players. Come on, Kwame. Jamal Adams wants Tyrann Mathieu money. But Jamal Adams is basically a linebacker. He's terrible in coverage. He's great at getting after the quarterback. You see how I did that, Kwame Brown? I talked about him and gave him praise. The same sentence. Talk about him critically and give him praise in the same sentence. The same sentence, the same idea is criticizing players for what they're good at and what they're not good at. Nothing wrong with that. He will get his paper if his backup is not good. Who else is sitting out? Xavier Howard, one of the top cornerbacks in the league. In that Flores defense, very valuable piece. They did not get the quarterback upgrade that they wanted. So this is not a Super Bowl or bust season for the Dolphins. I believe if they can find a way to finesse Deshaun Watson or something like that, then this would be a bigger story because they need all their pieces to be a Super Bowl contender. Xavier Howard will be sitting for a while. I don't think he's going to get his paper until the Dolphins realize that Tua Tagovailoa is not as good as they thought he was and we have to go another direction. I believe he threw 5 interceptions yesterday in practice. They say he was being super aggressive, threw 5 picks, so I think the Dolphins are still a middle of the pack playoff team. Nothing special. Nothing special. Who else is holding out? Stephon Gilmore, probably arguably top 3 cornerback in the league. 99 on Madden. Very good stats versus the NFL's top receivers. Very big piece to that Patriot defense. However, we've seen Belichick get rid of dudes for less. I don't see Stephon Gilmore getting this bread because they still don't have the pieces they need to go deep into the playoffs. Cam Newton's battling a quarterback wearing number 50 in camp in Mac Jones. I don't see the Patriots making a whole lot of noise. They say Cam's doing well. I have a Cam sighting. Cam's doing well. He's way ahead of where he was last year at this time. There's no question about that. That's a politically correct way to say we're still starting Cam until Mac Jones is ready. I hope Cam has a good first few games. But I can see them putting him on the bench if anything goes wrong. And Chandler Jones. Now, the Cardinals are interesting. That offense is starting to click. Defensively, they need these pass rushers. I think he'll get his bread at some point. I'm not sure how long it's going to take for Rodgers to report to camp in Green Bay. This might be a stalemate. And the Deshaun Watson situation, that could take the whole season. OTAs, I remember them like they were yesterday. I remember rookie minicamp. I remember getting there. I was in Arizona Cardinals, 1997. I go to OTAs. The first person I run into is Aeneas Williams, Hall of Famer, and Trey Junkin, longtime long snapper. They're in the locker room. Give me a cool little greeting. Show me the ropes. Go outside. It is 115 degrees outside for mini camps. All the veterans show up. We get outside, get going. And before you know it, I'm out there working out with a Hall of Famer. It was a great experience. A great couple weeks of learning and running around, getting a good lather. I should have made that team. However, I was not a draft pick. I was a free agent behind 2 draft picks, Ty Howard and Tom Knight. Tom Knight out of Iowa, had 11 interceptions in Iowa in the Big Ten. Came to camp hurt. Ty Howard, Ohio State. Good corner. Smaller, but good corner. I was a bigger corner. So I posed a different skill set. I played safety and corner. I was battling against my boy Kenny Harris from NC State. We were battling for that last roster spot. I had a bad preseason game versus the Chicago Bears. So all the OTA work went down the drain with one bad half of football. It's a cold game, y'all. But you got to go, put it on film, and hopefully it works out for you. My man Nathan in the house. What's up, Big Nate? I remember Kobe used to do that move, but today's players take it to a whole different extreme where it doesn't even look like they're trying to make a shot. The jump into a player and make a shot, there's a time and place for it if you're being really guarded really closely. But I believe guys now are doing it when guys are like a foot away, just playing good D, and they jump into the defender. I'm like, wow. Rickson says, cosign, I get a little lean, but these guys are so extreme and still get the call. I saw one where the referee did not call it because the ref was like, come on, man. I'm not calling that all game. About Stephon Gilmore, Jamie Mack says Gilmore trying to leave. He knows what to do. Adams should get paid. The team is on the cuff. Gilmore knows from history that Belichick will get rid of you if you ask for more money. And you're probably right, because he thinks the Patriots are going to stink again. So he doesn't want to use up any more of his good years of 99 rating on Madden in New England. Stephon Gilmore, please come to Philadelphia. We need a shutdown corner. We got a couple, but they weren't who we thought they were. I know Stephon Gilmore is the truth. You think Adams should get paid? He's an overrated linebacker to me. He doesn't play coverage. So you're paying for him to rush the passer and play in the box. But if that's what Pete Carroll needs him to do, they'll pay him. But I wouldn't pay no safety that much money. Unless it was Honey Badger. Cam will be good, says James Mack. Cam. Ooh, Cam. Can he throw the out route without wincing? Mac Jones might never be ready if they don't have weapons. Who's the receiver? Who are the receivers in New England? That's funny to me, man. He said, have you seen him practice? He looks, I don't know what you were trying to say, Mike, at the end. He threw some bad passes on Instagram, but they said they're just showing his bad plays. They did a Kwame Brown on our boy Cam. They did my boy Cam like Kwame Brown. They show him all my bad plays. If I was a ref, I would never call a foul when the offensive player jumps into the defender to draw a foul. I would be like, man, play ball. Quit acting like that. What you doing, man? What are you doing? Who does that? Get off the ground. Quit playing. Let's go. Quit playing, man. All right, man, my 2 cents. So Le'Veon Bell said he'd never play for Andy Reid again. I need to hear some context, like Jimmy Mack said. What's the context? We know he didn't play. Mike said Cam looked horrible. Yeah, the 2 throws I saw, he did look bad against air. You don't look bad against air. You're a professional. So Cam got to get it together. But Honey Badger chimes in versus his former teammate. Look here, Kwame Brown. 2 black men critiquing each other. These fellas will blame everybody for their lack of success. This is the Honey Badger who came back from multiple marijuana positive drug tests. Patrick Peterson saved his career, vouched for him, helped him get back on his feet. Now he's a Super Bowl champion. Taking advantage of his chances, they asked Ty how you feel about what Le'Veon Bell said about Andy Reid. Now, Andy Reid was a longtime coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, and most of the players that play for Andy Reid love Andy Reid. I would love to hear what Le'Veon Bell's criticism stems from. Was he lied to? Did Andy Reid promise him some playing time? Or did Andy Reid just cost him millions of dollars? I don't know if it's Andy Reid's fault. Andy Reid and them picked up the best back available. His style, the way he tips to the line of scrimmage, the way he picks and chooses his holes, he should have stayed in Pittsburgh because that blocking scheme worked for that style. I don't know if you played football when you were young, and if you had a ghetto fabulous coach like we had who said, quit tipping through the hole and run that ball. The hole is not going to be there very long. So you got the ball and you hit the hole hard before it closed. Le'Veon Bell gets the ball and waits for the hole to migrate, to move, so he can run and hit the hole once it finally merges away from, I don't know what you call this style, but he had the same style at Michigan State. And certain offenses is perfect because he's patient. He's a very patient runner. But if you have a blocking scheme that's hit and drive, and he's sitting back there waiting and then hitting, that's not gangster. That's not Walter Payton. That's not Barry Sanders. You're not hitting that hole. And the linemen are waiting for you to hit the hole. Kansas City got that rookie back there, and he ain't giving up that spot because he hits the hole hard. And that's what most guys do. They hit the hole when they see it. I want to hear what Le'Veon has to say about Andy Reid. Dietrich says, what about when they are swinging their arms up quickly like they're shooting? When they do the rip through and someone's hand is in front, that if my hand is already here, and I know the rule book, I believe, Dietrich, you're a ref, right? If I'm playing defense, I'm not touching you. I got one hand in the pass lane, one hand for distance, and you go this way. I'm just playing off the ball defense. If you rip through and it touches my hand, you're not shooting. You just rip through my hand. It's contact, right? I believe basketball is a contact sport. Now, if you are shooting the ball and my hand kind of bothers your elbow or touches your elbow and kind of keeps you from shooting the ball, that's where I don't know what a foul is. I thought a foul was contact that kind of infringes on a person's ability to shoot the ball. Maybe I interpret the rule the wrong way. But when they are raking through a stationary hand, I thought you had a right to your position. I thought you had a right to your space. Similar to football. If I'm playing corner on a receiver and a receiver runs into me, it's not PI. Unless there's obvious arms push. The receiver pushes or if I grab. But if two guys run into each other and is inadvertent, it just happens, no call. So I hope they go through the rip call and the jump into a guy's shot call and reevaluate that mess, man. Because what can you do as a defender? That's why KD goes for 50 tonight. Because PJ Tucker can't touch him. And since he can't touch him, why is he guarding KD? It'd be different if it was 1985 and it's Vernon Maxwell, where he can actually put that elbow in his kidney and give him 5 good hard fouls. That's what I'm talking about. 5 good hard fouls. Nate says, New England got some great tight ends. Jonnu Smith and Henry, and that receiver they have, the Philadelphia favorite, Nelson Aguilar. They got Aguilar from the Raiders. Watch him ball. Watch him ball, New England. Watch him ball out of fear. Nelson Pancake Hands Aguilar from USC. He gonna ball watch. He is not a downhill runner. He is a Sammy Davis Jr. type. Why is he Sammy Davis Jr. type runner? Why you giving me Sammy Davis Jr.? Sammy Davis, he's tiptoeing. He's scatting. Dietrich says he don't work basketball, only football. Okay, just a basketball fan. I agree with what you're saying. Yeah, I don't know how they expect us to play defense. Me and Mike G play pickup ball on Sunday mornings, and me and Mike G are pretty physical with each other. If they call the fouls the way we play at Sunday at Bayshore and Long Beach, then we will foul out every game. In a game to 7, all ones, I'd foul out every game because I'm hand checking. I got my hand out for you to cross me, and if you cross me and I'm on your right side, you cross me to the left, I'm still here. We're gonna have chest to chest contact. I'm already here, and it's never a call. It's a straight up. It's just a body call. Now, if you're shooting the ball and I run into you, that's a foul. I like to go a whole game without any fouls. I don't foul just to be fouling, but I do make contact so you feel me. I think they should bring that back. I think it's fun when it's physical. I always go back to that All-Star game before COVID. Remember that All-Star game before COVID and they were allowing them to play? And there was no easy buckets out there because everybody was roughhousing each other. Only the ultra skilled got buckets. Only the ultra skilled got buckets because you could no longer roughhouse. Giannis couldn't get a bucket. I don't think Kawhi could get it. I think Kawhi tried a couple buckets and he got roughed up. I believe James gave the ball up. They had to take Booker out the game because it was too rough on him. It was down to KD and LeBron and who else was in that game balling? CP3 and Steph Curry. Steph Curry was shooting from half court. Dame Lillard was shooting from half court. There was no buckets in that paint. The paint should be off limits to anybody under 200 pounds. My OG Rafik in the house, Raheem, KD got 50 because his shot is wet. He got 50 because nobody can touch him. KD's supposed to get 35, 40. When he get 50, he's too comfortable. He played 48 minutes. He's too comfy, Raheem. He's too comfy. He back there smiling. He be tipping like Sammy Davis Jr. Back there tipping. If you played at the Wash House in 1994 with Jimmy Mack in the Generals and you tipped through the hole like that, you would not see the field. I don't know who Jimmy Mack's coach was, but I know you would not play if you tipped. I need you to invite me to some of them runs on Sundays. You ain't need no invitation, man, to show up. 40 and over. We out there hooping from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right before church. Hooping. The OGs. Some of the cats I grew up with. You might get high off the contact. Some cats get blazed up a little bit. But there's some good cats. I know these cats from 25 years. Good bros, man. I'm out, bro. Got to shut the house down. I feel you, Jimmy Mack. I appreciate you, man. Finish the school year off strong. If you have not already. Jimmy Mack in the house, 1585. Miss Mack, where you at? Oh man, I just got bit by the mosquito. I'm out here in the garage getting bit up by these mosquitoes, man. The mosquitoes are out. All right, man. So this came to my timeline, bro. Remember the 2011 Mavs? I think we need to put some respect on their name. Before we forget them. 2011 Dallas Mavericks. They beat Portland 42. They swept Kobe's back-to-back championship winning Lakers. They beat KD, Russ, and Harden 4-1. Then they beat the super team in Miami, the Heatles, with prime LeBron 4-2. Dirk, 23 a game. 7 boards, 2 assists, 51%. Field goal percentage, 60%. One of the most slept on teams in NBA history. That team was basically perfect. Well coached. Every skill. They had a bench. I don't know if that team had a weakness, man. That team was solid. That team was built perfectly to beat the Heatles. Now, what happened the next year, I don't remember. But I know this one year, that was a good team, man. So give the Mavericks their props for beating the Heatles. Kobe and the Mavericks. Local news. 562.org reports St. Anthony's, Alan Cavness, Coach Cav, is leaving St. Anthony's. He accepted a job at Long Beach State. My son says, why would Coach Cav leave St. Anthony's? Says, son, there comes a time in every man's life they have to open that next door of opportunity. St. Anthony's can't pay him what Long Beach State can pay him. He has a family. He got to take care of his family. But what about the kids he promised he would be there? You can't think about it like that. You got to do what's best for you and your family. Much love to Coach Cav. He's going to be an excellent recruiter at Long Beach State. He's going to get to be rejoined with Jadon Jones. Now the question is, who's going to be the coach at St. Anthony's, the powerhouse high school basketball team in Long Beach? I asked my boy Chuck, who's going to be the coach? Are you going to be the coach? He said, I'm in Bible study. Let me hit you back. He ain't hit me back yet. So we're waiting to hear the inside scoop. Who's going to be the next coach at St. Anthony's? I'm really listening because I have a 10th grader in my house. I'm really interested to see. I almost gave my son to Cav. I'm just not too hip on these Catholic schools. But St. Anthony's is the lesser of two evils. At least it's in Long Beach. At least it's a team full of bros. Let's see what else we got here. All right, this one came down my timeline. The coldest Kool-Aid matchup. There's gonna be a real life matchup between the coldest Crawford, the coldest to ever do a Crawford, and Kool-Aid McKinstry. LSU versus Bama. You can't make this stuff up, man. The coldest Crawford versus Kool-Aid McKinstry. The coldest Kool-Aid. The coldest Kool-Aid. Somebody need their butt whoop. Name these kids these crazy names. But now we got to see an SEC game where the coldest goes against Kool-Aid. I think they need each other. Kool-Aid needs to be cold. I don't know how I feel about that one, man. Raheem said, so he's saying the Mavs an all-time team. I say they was lucky the NBA was down that year. Oh, let me put the picture back up. Let's dissect them a little bit. I think it was a perfect team for one season. Raheem says they were lucky. I was explaining to my son the other day what luck is. Luck is something happening that should not happen. They beat Portland. They beat the Lakers. They beat the OKC Thunder. And they beat the Heatles. This team was perfect, OG Raheem. For one season, this team was perfect. This is one of the all-time great teams. One of the most slept-on teams. One of the early episodes of 1585, Jimmy Mack and myself broke down the best teams of all time. And if you won a championship, you are eligible for the best team of all time. They were no dynasty, but for 1 year, 2011, the Dallas Mavericks were one of the best teams in NBA history. If the league was down, it's part of the game. But that was a pretty good team, man. I don't think you can argue about that. Mike says that was a good team, and the last time Carlisle was a good coach. He and Doc are living off one ring. Hey, sometimes you need dogs to coach your style. Wasn't Carlisle in Indiana? Wasn't Carlisle in Dallas? They keep getting jobs. Somebody thinks they can coach. Somebody thinks they can coach. All right, so this is more going to be the Barry Sanders segment of the show. After this Dak Prescott joke, at least we got 5 Super Bowl rings. Troy and Starback says, you're going to have to win one first, kid. We got 5. Like Debo said, I got $100. I got about $200. Wait a minute, what? My bike pumps. All right, so Barry Sanders. So the conversation was this. Who was the toughest to tackle? This was the first one I saw. Who was the hardest to tackle in NFL history? Barry, all day, Sweetness, King Henry, Earl Campbell, Jim Brown, Beast Mode, or somebody else. Hardest to tackle. Now put yourself in an open field with the option to wrap up, hit them hard, or get them down any way you could. And if you watch the film, body of work, I gotta say Barry Sanders. Walter Payton's my favorite player of all time. But Barry's shiftiness. I think Barry Sanders is the best running back of all time. There was a poll that came out last week that had Jim Brown at the top, but I watched Jim Brown film and he was just a big, strong dude. Him and Earl Campbell. I want to say beast mode as well. Big, strong dude, got some wiggle. Derrick Henry, no wiggle. Just a good blocking scheme, and he's able to push guys down and outrun some guys. AD's a complete back all day. Adrian Peterson. And you got to think about guys like LaDainian Tomlinson, guys like Curtis Martin, guys like Eric Dickerson. Who's toughest to tackle? I would say Barry, man. He's not going to let you get a good hit on him if you watch the film. And then you go to Barry's stats. Let's start at college. Barry's college stats. In 1988, these are the numbers that Barry Sanders put up. 178, 157, 304, 175, 189, 155, 320, 215, 315, 300, 300, 225. 5 tubs, 4 tubs, 4 tubs, 5 tubs. You know he's getting the ball. Yet nobody can stop him. One season, 2,850 yards, 42 tubs. That's college. This is kind of why you get to be GOAT. And you dominate every level. I want to see his high school stats. Then his pro stats. The only retired player with at least 1,300 scrimmage yards in every one of his NFL seasons. Every single one. If he did not play for Detroit, just imagine if Barry played for the Cowboys with that line that Emmitt Smith had. Barry Sanders, man. He's my GOAT. My GOAT running back. If I got 5 GOATs, he's one of them. He's one of them. All right, man. My sports flicks. After I talk about Brady's last comment and then talk about Charles Barkley's statement. Brady said, I got 10 fingers. 1 is occupied by my wedding ring, 7 by my Super Bowl rings, so I need to get at least 2 more. Do y'all think Tom Brady gets another ring? I think he's done. I think too many factors have to play in his favor. My man is pushing 45, right? How old is Tom Brady? 43? I think it's a wrap, man. He had a miracle season last year. I don't think he fell down one time the whole season. I think he tops out at 7. Still the GOAT, but I think he's done. I think he's done. All right, man. One more. I think that's it. All right, so my sports flicks. All right, man. So I went to check out this clip for a documentary, and then another video popped up from 1990. My Long Beach Poly Jackrabbits versus the Linwood Knights. And I said, look at this